The game that could decide everything, Arsenal versus Man City this Sunday. Let us be honest with you right now, this Sunday is not just another Premier League game. This is the kind of match that people talk about for years. The kind of game where you remember exactly where you were sitting, who you were watching with, and how loud you screamed when something big happened. Arsenal versus Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium this Sunday is that game. 6 points, that is all that separates these two clubs right now at the top of the Premier League table. Arsenal sit in first place with 70 points. Manchester City are right behind them in second with 64 points. And here is the part that makes this even more exciting. City have a game in hand. That means if City win on Sunday, the gap between the two clubs drops to just 3 points, with several weeks still left in the season. Can you feel that? Because Arsenal fans should absolutely be feeling something right now. This blog is your full breakdown of everything you need to know before Sunday arrives. We are going to look at where both teams stand, what has been happening in recent weeks, what Manchester City forward Antoine Semenyo had to say ahead of the game, and most importantly, what this all means for Arsenal and their dream of winning the Premier League title this season. Grab a drink, sit down, let us get into it, where things stand in the Premier League right now. Before anything else, let us just lay out the table so everyone is clear on the picture. Arsenal, first place, 21 wins, 7 draws, 4 losses, 70 points. Manchester City, second place, 19 wins, 7 draws, 5 losses, 64 points. That is a 6-point gap right now. Arsenal have been brilliant for most of this season. 21 wins is a seriously impressive number, but anyone who follows football closely knows that a 6-point lead at this stage of the season is not safe. Not when the team chasing you has a game in hand and is currently playing some of their best football. Manchester City have lost 5 games this season. Arsenal have lost 4. The difference in the table has basically come down to those extra wins Arsenal have managed to pile up, but City are not going away. They have been grinding results, improving week by week, and Sunday is the day where they get their chance to make a real statement. Now ask yourself this honestly, do you think 6 points is enough of a cushion for Arsenal going into Sunday? How Arsenal have been looking lately? This is where things get a little uncomfortable if you are an Arsenal supporter. Arsenal have not been at their best recently. In their last 5 matches across all competitions, they have only managed to win once, just 1 win in 5 games. That is not the form of a team looking to hold off a title charge. That is the form of a team going through a difficult patch at exactly the wrong moment. The result that probably stung the most was the 2-1 defeat to Bournemouth in their most recent Premier League match. Bournemouth are a good team and they should never be taken lightly. But for Arsenal, dropping points to Bournemouth when you are trying to protect a title lead is not what you want. It gives the chasing pack exactly the kind of hope they need. So the question has to be asked, what is going on with Arsenal right now? Manager Mikel Arteta has had to deal with a team that has not been finding their best rhythm. The performances have not had that same sharpness and confidence that made Arsenal look so strong earlier in the season. You can see it in the numbers and you can see it when you watch them play. Something has not quite been clicking. Now that is not to say Arsenal are a bad team, far from it. They are still top of the league. They are still the team that needs to be beaten, but form matters in football. And right now, Arsenal's form going into Sunday is not what Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal supporters would have hoped for. That makes Sunday an even bigger test. When you are not at your best and you have to face Manchester City at the Etihad, you need to find something extra. You need your leaders to step up. You need your best players to perform when it matters most. Do Arsenal have that in them right now? That is the big question. How Manchester City have been looking lately. If Arsenal's recent form has been concerning, Manchester City's recent form has been the complete opposite story. Pep Guardiola's side have been picking up momentum at exactly the right time. Their results over the last few weeks have been strong and their performances have shown a team that is growing in confidence and belief. This is what City do. They find their rhythm, they start clicking, and then they become almost impossible to stop. The fact that they have closed the gap to 6 points with a game in hand tells you everything. At some point earlier in the season, many people probably thought the title race was over. Arsenal were flying and City were too far back. But City have kept going, kept winning, and now here they are, right in the thick of it, right where they want to be. Antoine Semenyo, who has been one of City's best players since joining in January, put it simply and honestly when he spoke to the In the Mixer podcast. He said that the team has been playing probably their best football of the second half of the season over their last couple of games. He also made a very interesting observation about the timing of Sunday's match. He said, and we are putting this simply so it really lands, City are in form, Arsenal are not. And Sunday is the day those two things collide. That is a player who is confident. That is a player who believes his team can win this game. And when a player speaks like that, you have to take it seriously. Who is Antoine Semenyo and why is he important? Some of you reading this might not know too much about Antoine Semenyo, especially since he only joined Manchester City in January. So let us take a moment to properly introduce him and explain why he has been such a big deal for City's title push. Semenyo is 26 years old. He plays as a forward. He is from Ghana and he represented the Ghana national team. Before joining Manchester City, he was at Bournemouth, where he built a strong reputation as a direct, energetic and effective forward who could change games. Manchester City paid £64 million to sign him in January. That is a huge amount of money, and it tells you how much Pep Guardiola and the City recruitment team believed in what he could bring to the squad, and he has delivered. Since joining City in January, Semenyo has scored 8 goals and provided 3 assists in just 19 appearances. Think about that. He has been at the club for just a few months and he has already made himself a key player in a title race. 8 goals and 3 assists is not a small contribution. That is the kind of impact that can win a league title. He has scored important goals against Tottenham, Leeds and Nottingham Forest. Each of those contributions helped City keep pace with Arsenal at the top of the table. Without him, would City even be in the position they are in right now? It is hard to say, but you could certainly make the argument that Semenyo's arrival changed the shape of this title race. He spoke about Sunday's game with a real calm confidence. He said the squad feels ready. He said they are excited. He said it is going to be a big one and that it could be title deciding. And you could tell from how he spoke that this is a group of players who genuinely believe they can win the Premier League this season. That belief is important. Do not underestimate it. What the Etihad atmosphere will mean. There is one more thing to consider when you think about Sunday, and that is where the game is being played. Manchester City are the home team. The match is at the Etihad Stadium. The Etihad on a big game day is one of the loudest and most intense atmospheres in English football. When City are at home and the stakes are this high, that stadium becomes a fortress. The crowd pushes the players forward, the noise gets under the skin of visiting teams, the sheer weight of expectation can make legs feel heavier and decisions feel slower. Arsenal will be coming to a place where City have been very strong this season. They will be walking into an environment where every single person in that ground wants City to win, where every moment will be charged with tension and electricity. Arsenal's players are experienced enough to handle that. Mikel Arteta is experienced enough to prepare his team for that kind of atmosphere, but it is still a challenge. It is still one more thing to deal with on top of everything else. So how will Arsenal respond? Will they let the atmosphere get to them or will they use it as motivation? Will they sit back and defend or will they try to take the game to City? These are all fascinating questions that we will only get answers to on Sunday. What a City win would actually mean. Let us play this out clearly so everyone understands what the different results on Sunday would mean for the title race. If Manchester City win on Sunday, the gap at the top of the table drops from 6 points to 3 points, and City still have their game in hand. So effectively, City could end the weekend level on points with Arsenal if they then win that game in hand as well. We would be looking at a genuinely level title race with just a few weeks of the season remaining. That would be an incredible situation. Every Arsenal game for the rest of the season would feel like a cup final. Every dropped point would feel catastrophic. The pressure would be enormous. Now think about Arsenal's recent form of just 1 win in 5 games and ask yourself, could Arsenal handle that pressure? Could they find the wins they need if suddenly the margin for error was gone? If Arsenal win on Sunday, the gap goes to 9 points. With games running out, that would almost certainly be enough for Arsenal to seal the title. It would be a massive statement that Arsenal are ready to be champions. The celebrations among the Arsenal fan community would be immense. A draw keeps the gap at 6 points, but with City's game in hand still to be played, that would still leave the title race very much alive heading into the final stretch of the season. Every single scenario matters. Every minute of Sunday's game matters. This is what makes it so special and so stressful all at the same time. The bigger picture for Arsenal this season. Let us step back for a moment and think about what this season has meant for Arsenal as a club. This has been a genuinely exciting season for Arsenal supporters. 21 wins in the league, sitting top of the Premier League table, a real genuine title challenge that has felt different from previous seasons where hope turned to disappointment. Mikel Arteta has built something at Arsenal. The squad has quality throughout. There are leaders in every position. The football they have played at their best this season has been brilliant to watch, fluid, direct, competitive and full of character. For the Arsenal community, this season has felt like a real moment. The sense that the club is moving in the right direction has never been stronger. And if Arsenal can hold on and win the Premier League title, it would be one of the most significant moments in the club's recent history. But that dream is not secured yet, not even close. Sunday is proof of that. Sunday is the moment where all the work of the season either holds up or gets tested like never before. This is what football does. It builds you up, it puts you at the top, and then it says, right, now prove you deserve to be there. Prove it against the best team at their ground when everything is on the line. Messages for the Arsenal community. If you are part of Olivia's Sports Arsenal community, you already know what Arsenal means. You know the history, the pride, the passion, and yes, the heartbreak that sometimes comes with it. But right now, in this moment, there is more hope and genuine excitement than there has been for a very long time. Your team is top of the league. Your team has 70 points. Your team has been the best team in England for most of this season. That matters. That is real. That cannot be taken away regardless of what happens on Sunday. But this community also knows that Arsenal do not do things the easy way. That Arsenal have a history of making their supporters feel every possible emotion in the space of 90 minutes. And Sunday is going to be exactly that kind of game. What we would say to every member of this community is this: trust the team, trust Arteta, trust the players who have worked all season to get to this point. Yes, the recent form has been a worry. Yes, going to the Etihad is tough. Yes, Semenyo and City are in good form and full of confidence. But Arsenal are Arsenal. And when they need to be, when it really matters, they have shown this season that they can rise to the occasion. Sunday is the biggest occasion of the season. Let us see what Arsenal are made of. What should Arsenal do tactically? This is not a tactics blog, but it is worth having a simple conversation about what Arsenal might need to do to get a result on Sunday. City at home are a team that like to control the ball and the tempo of the game. They like to build from the back, move the ball quickly, and create overloads in wide areas. Pep Guardiola is one of the best coaches in the world at organising his team to dominate possession. Arsenal will need to be brave. They cannot just sit back and try to defend because City will eventually break through. They need to press City high up the pitch, win the ball in dangerous areas, and then be quick and direct in attack. Arteta knows Guardiola better than almost anyone. He worked under Guardiola at City earlier in his career. He knows the system, he knows the patterns, and he knows where City can be hurt. That knowledge is an advantage. Arsenal also have real quality going forward. Their attacking players are capable of hurting City on the counter-attack and from set pieces. If Arsenal can limit City's dangerous moments and take their own chances when they come, they absolutely can get a result, but they need to be at their best. No more of the slow, uncertain performances that have characterised their recent run of form. They need to be sharp, aggressive and determined from the first whistle. The players to watch. On the City side, the obvious player to watch is Semenyo himself. 8 goals and 3 assists in 19 games tells you he is a constant threat. He is fast, he is direct, he makes things happen in the final third, and he will be full of confidence after his recent performances. City also have Pep Guardiola pulling the strings from the touchline. Never forget that having one of the greatest managers of all time on your sideline is an advantage in itself. On the Arsenal side, this is a game for the leaders to stand up. The senior players, the experienced ones, the ones who have been in big games before, this is their moment. The attacking players will need to be at their most creative and dangerous. The defenders will need to be brave and focused. The goalkeeper will need to be ready for anything. And Mikel Arteta himself will need to make the right decisions in the heat of the moment. Tactics, substitutions, messaging to the players, all of it matters in a game this big. The simple truth about Sunday, we have given you a lot to think about. Let us bring it all back to something simple and clear. Sunday is a genuinely massive game, maybe the biggest in the Premier League season this year. Arsenal are 6 points clear, but their recent form is a worry. Manchester City are in great shape, confident and playing well at exactly the right time. The Etihad will be rocking. The stakes could not be higher. A City win and this title race is alive all the way to the wire. An Arsenal win and the Gunners take a huge step toward the title. It really is that simple and that significant. Final thoughts and a question for the community. We want to hear from you. This community is one of the best places on the internet for honest, passionate Arsenal discussion, and we want to know what you think. Do you believe Arsenal can go to the Etihad and get a result on Sunday? Are you worried about their recent form, or do you think the big game will bring the best out of them? What do you need to see from Arsenal on Sunday to feel confident they can still win the title? And honestly, how are you feeling right now as an Arsenal supporter? Because we know these moments are exciting, but they are also nerve-wracking in the most wonderful way. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let the community know where your head is at. Let us build each other up before Sunday, because that is what this community is all about. Arsenal Football Club is so close to something special. The title is right there. It can still happen, but they have to go and take it. They have to go to Manchester, walk into that noise and prove that they are the best team in England this season. They have done it before in big moments. They can do it again. Sunday cannot come soon enough. Come on, you Gunners.